Monster RX93.1 presents All Out, your daily morning pick-me-up. All out hits, all out celebrity interviews, all out sports and showbiz news. Your hosts, Rico Robles and Carla Aguas.
You know, Carla and Janina, I was actually alive when all of the shows are happening, and my
because you're old.
were actually watching. I was 5 years old, and I was actually 8 years old when those shows were out. So I remember it, and it was that's how I'm like, wow, okay, she's gonna do her own version, and you're paving the way on your own. You're not doing the hosting, you're not doing the acting, you're doing music. You know what I mean? So that's actually cool. Big ups.
What I find cool as well is you said a while ago you never felt any pressure. Your parents never wanted to pressure you into being somebody else or to follow in somebody's footsteps. And yet look at where you are, right? I mean, you're doing your own version of what your other family members have done as well. Like with your YouTube channel, I mean, congratulations, Janina. Your YouTube is one of like the most watched, most subscribed. Like people love your YouTube because it's just such a nice little space where people can feel comforted and happy and positive. And that takes a lot. Like YouTube is a lot of work. People don't think it is, but I mean, content creators have to say it time and time and again because it's true. From the filming to the setup to the editing to the content itself, that's a lot of work, and that's something that not a lot of people really know about. What's the next song, girl?
This is an unreleased song, which is gonna be fun. It's actually one of my favorite songs, and it's one of my Bella Fam's favorite songs too. So this is called Number 2, and this is a recent song. Not really recent, but this is about a recent thing where basically the hook is why am I always number 2? So no matter how hard you try, sometimes you just feel like you're never gonna be enough for this person in your life, and you'll just always rank number 2 in their life. And so I was almost to the point of begging to be prioritized by this person, and this song was kind of my take a bow and just I'm done with this clownery. So I wrote this song. It's kind of angry, but I'll do it verse by verse like I did kanina. It makes no sense. I ask you where you are and you leave a little part out. It makes no sense. You tell me you can make it, then text me and you take it back. So this one is, it makes no sense. I ask you where you are and you leave a little part out. It's, we would be texting and then I'd be like, hey, where are you? I thought we were gonna hang out with our friends. And he's like, oh yeah, sorry, I have something to do. Then later I'd find out he would be hanging out with a girl that he told me not to worry about.
Wait.
Wow. Hold on.
I gotta bring Rico and I into this part because I am. Look at the veins in my neck. Hold up.
Look at me flexing already.
That is still a thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. He's a special friend.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, this is an unreleased Monster exclusive song. Let's get to it again.
Okay. Then it makes no sense. You tell me you can make it, then text me and you take it back. So basically, it's like you said that you would be there for me, and then suddenly you're not. But pre-chorus goes, ooh, I knew it was too good to be true, and ooh, I thought my future would be you, and ooh, I knew whatever goes up, it must fall, and ooh, I guess I'm not surprised at all. So the pre-chorus goes, I knew it was too good to be true, and obviously bouncing off of Hello Stranger, which was the guy, before this one. It was like I already knew that you could get hurt, and I already knew that this was probably too good to be true, and you weren't as nice as you put yourself out to be, because I've experienced that already. So I knew it was too good to be true, and I thought my future would be you. And so I don't know if it's just a girl thing. Maybe Carla, you can help me with this. Maybe it's just a girl thing where you're like, kind of, when you find somebody, you kind of dream of a future with them already, and it's like you meet somebody and you're like, could I have a future with this person? And then when you realize that you can, then it's kind of like, whoa, like I really, really like this guy. So I don't know, maybe that's just idealistic of me, and because I'm a child.
No, I think all of us, even guys, feel the same way, because it's that natural curiosity as well, especially when you don't know the person super,
Yeah.
super well yet, but you're already like interested, you're attracted, and then you're thinking, like, imagine if like we started dating, where would we
Yeah.
go? What would it be like?
Yeah.
Even guys, Rico, back me up. Even guys think about that. Come on.
Yeah, when we like a girl, we buy a ring. Done. We have it on standby.
Whoa!
Maybe
Okay.
no. Yeah,
Carry on,
that's
Janina.
where this came from. So I thought my future would be you. Whatever goes up, it must fall. And I guess like I'm not surprised because I should have expected this. And this is the chorus. It's I'm too late. Tell me why you couldn't have stayed just a little bit longer till I was strong enough to be enough for you. Why am I always number 2? So that's the chorus. It's I'm too late. Tell me why you couldn't have stayed. Tell me why you couldn't have waited for me to try to be better, to try to be enough, to try to be the girl that you wanted, you felt like you needed. And so this was my absolute moment of clownery because I'm like, where I thought that I had to adjust to be enough for him. But it comes, you come to the point in your life when you realize that the right person will see that you're enough even without you having to try. And so I haven't met that person yet, but I've seen them in my friends. And so it's not always, it's always, parang, how do you say that? It's like to the right people, you don't have to try. That's kind of that simple.
And saying what's up to Rachel over on Facebook Live, who literally said, "Sakit naman, Janina."
Same. It's okay. Yeah. So, tell me why you couldn't have stayed just a little bit longer till I was strong enough to be enough for you. Why am I always number 2? So it just happened. Honestly, this is low-key exposing me more than it's exposing him, because I'm like thinking now, it's like, why am I always number 2? It's because it happened more than once with more than one girl. And I should have known.
Oh my God, girl! I mean, I'm rooting for you, but it's
I know.
like you gotta burn.
I know. I've learned now, though. Now I know better. But it was just not a good thing for me in the last few years with love and just that side of life. It's just, no.
So once again, you have to stay tuned at yours truly, Janina Vela, on YouTube.
Yeah.
Story that comes out, it's mine.
Oh my God, Rico, how much longer do we have to go before we go on air?
We have about 4 minutes, so we could
Okay.
entertain more questions. Go ahead, Carl.
Let's do some fan questions now. Okay, I really like this question, Janina.
Yes.
From Ate Janina, what song na hindi mo in-expect na ganun kaganda yung outcome? So like, is there any particular song that you wrote, you guys made the music for it, and you guys were like, okay, yeah, this is fun. Then when you finally heard it, like in its entirety, you were like, oh, this is awesome. I love it.
Like a released or an unreleased song? Is that...
You can give us a released and then an unreleased if you want. Ooh, exclusive.
Well, I actually always say this in interviews, but I love Safe at Last. So Safe at Last is in my first EP. And that song, parang, not that I didn't know that it would be good. It was just that it was kind of low-key slept on because it wasn't a love song. But I personally love it so much because it's so real to me, because that... the pre-chorus of that goes, I've learned that what once kept you going could be what's keeping you from growing. So for me, it's learning that something that's good for you in this season of your life doesn't necessarily have to be good for you in the next one. And so it's learning to let go. And so the song means a lot to me, and the way that it was produced was just so good that I love it so much. So I'm really, really proud of it. Like I think that's the only song from my last EP that I can like listen to on repeat. Because, it's like, when you make a YouTube video and you hear yourself talking and you're like, ew, I'm never watching this again. And so that's low-key the same for my songs. But for some reason, Safe at Last, I just freaking love that song. But the unreleased song that I really like is a song that I made with my brothers. It's the first song that I made with my brothers, and I wrote the lyrics as a joke because I was just mad. But not mad. It was just like it was a low-key diss song again. I haven't had good like experiences when it comes to love life. So if any boys watching, to hit me up. Just kidding. Just kidding. My parents are watching.
I could see the message from your dad.
Love her.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm sorry, but I wish this was tea. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Just being real.
yeah, this song is I can't play it on the guitar, but then the chorus goes, it's like, you were just a player and I was a fool and I didn't see it when I looked at you, but you're back in town. I know better now. I won't fall for it again, cause you were just a player. Something like that. So I wrote it as a joke. Obviously, you were just a player and I was a fool. But low key, it worked so well. And so hopefully you'll see it in the new EP. It's another diss song because my EP is kind of very passive aggressively angry.
Your writing process and everything. We have been talking about the different songs. Now, you did mention about a new twist. Are you going to be doing song numbers like dance and everything? Is that the new direction that you're planning?
Definitely not. Hard pass on that. I was looking at my old dance videos and I was like, what was I thinking? Oh my gosh, I'll just stick to TikTok, I just savage. That's all I can do. Really. No more dance numbers.
It's okay. Life is all about learning. So it's fine. I mean, you learn from your past and then you move forward into a better direction. Exactly. Which for you is music, girl.
Exactly, right? So yeah, we're learning not to dance and we're learning to listen to our managers and our parents. So it's good.
Okay, well, what I like is that Janina, guys, over on Facebook Live, facebook.com/RX91, she was saying that, the overall theme of her EP or what she wants it to be is sort of like passive, aggressively angry. Which actually, some of your followers over on Instagram were asking, like, when you do decide to finally, release like a new EP and like a new list of songs for everybody, what will be the overall theme message, basically, that you're possibly thinking of? Like, have you ever thought about it already? Like, or is that a little too far into the future? What can they expect from it?
I don't. Well, actually, so when I was writing this, or when I was choosing what songs to put into it, I have only written one love song in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking of whether I should put it in or not put it in. Oh, but side note, the love song that I wrote is actually not also a happy song because it was it's entitled Prom, and it's the song that I wrote of how I wished my prom would be, but because my crush went with my best friend, so it didn't really work out for me that way.
Wait, girl, you need to like write all of your life experiences down, because I feel like this is a telenovela in itself. Like, who cares about like the Gossip Girls and like the OC and like all those like iconic who got shows? Janina Vela's life is where it's at, man.
It's crazy, honestly. Now that you're like making me retell the stories, I just realized how crazy it's been for me. But it's okay. I'm still alive, and I'm as happy as ever. So it doesn't really matter anymore. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so that love song, I was thinking of putting it in, but then I think I'm still waiting for like maybe it could be the third album where Janina finally finds somebody, or Janina finally realizes what love really is. And so at least for the second EP, I'm thinking of it could be a pre falling in love kind of album. So the album, the first EP was was kind of a breakup kind of album. And this one is kind of a post breakup and also a pre falling back in love kind of thing. And then hopefully third one will be a good chapter of my life, because if not, I don't want to go back to breakup songs. Like, please. I'm tired of this.
I feel for you, girl. I really do. Okay, let's leave the hugot aside for a second. Let's go to some fun fan questions, because I feel like, we're all getting kind of worked up, but we will return to this because I want to hear about how Janina Vela deals with like heartache. Okay, but let's go to some fan questions. From Tim over here on Facebook Live. What's your go-to song whenever someone asks you to sing?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. What is my go-to? Like, if somebody
Sample. Ganon. So is there a go-to?
And sample.
Oh, If I Ain't Got You. Oh my gosh, it's so basic.
Really? Like Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You.
Yeah, Alicia Keys. It's like
sample.
No, thank you. I'm good. So I sang that song like for any formal event. That's my go-to song. It's like, oh, Janina, sing this. Parang Janina, sing. So like I'm like, okay, sige, if I'm in a gambit, I'll sing it. So I sang it for like the E-Bloggers Ball a couple of years ago. And then, last minute, my kuya asked me to sing in his wedding. And so that's what I sang for his wedding. And then also, whenever there's a birthday party, for some reason, people just associate that song with me. And so If I Ain't Got You, that's just my go-to thing. It also, obviously is my go-to karaoke song, which goes So, yeah, it's If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys. I don't.
Janina.
Yes?
Okay, so it's that time now for you to sing If I Ain't Got You.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm
Sample.
sorry. If you want to, like, if you want me to sing that, you have to talk to my manager and, like, we have to, like, fix the talent fee. Just kidding. It's a little bit on the vocal cords, saying? It's like, woo. So we'll prepare for it next time.
3, 2, 1.
It just means she has to guess another time, Rico. It's fine. We won't push her for now. All right. Next question from Annika. What is the meaning of your tattoo? Hold up, girl. You got a tattoo?
Yeah, I do. It's cute.
Oh, when did you get that?
I got this in August of last year or July, somewhere around that time. So this it's a cross with like a bunch of plants wrapped around it. I was saving this for a video, but fine.
Is this a Monster exclusive?
It is. So so these plants all represent different parts or different things that happened to me that changed my life. So easy enough was there's a rose here. And fun fact, I drew this. So yeah, there's a rose.
Wow.
There's a rose, and the rose means the rose is from the song "Safe at Last," which is I've learned that what once kept you going could be what's keeping you from growing. It's because there's like when a gardener has to shape a rose bush, sometimes he has to cut off roses in that rose bush, and sometimes it after there's like that cutting of things that are not necessary, the rose bush kind of looks ugly, but it's also necessary for it to grow into the shape that it needs to be.
Yes,
and that's how it turned to me. It's like sometimes what you think is good for you, what you think is beautiful, God has to cut out of your life, but it's so necessary because cutting those things out will make you grow into the person you need to be. And so that shaped my life. It's not really fighting God. I'm trying my best, at least, not to fight God on things that He has to make me let go of, or like cut out of my life. So that was one of it. The olive branch that goes along the whole thing. It's my favorite verse. In the peace of God that goes beyond all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And so, for me, it was kind of. I just really like that verse. It's actually what comes before that was God actually gives commands like to rejoice, to be thankful, to be constant in prayer. And so for me, it was not just remembering that the peace of God will guard my heart and my mind, but also that I have to rejoice, that I have to be thankful, and I have to be constant in prayer, and the peace of God and the peace of God will guard my heart and my mind. So it's like kind of focusing also on that conjunction. So it's And so you have to, when you see a conjunction like that in the Bible, you know that you have to read what comes before it. And so
Yes.
what were those commandments? And I'm like, okay, God will come through for me. God will give me the peace. But am I doing my part? Am I being thankful? Am I praying? Am I rejoicing? And so that was, that's what this means for me. What is the other one? Forgot. So it's like this one is a sunflower turned away, and this was it was a kind of a nerdy fact, but when like how sunflowers are called sunflowers because they face the sun.
Yes.
But sometimes kasi sunflowers have to turn themselves, they have to give back nutrients into the soil, or they have to give up, some of what they already have and put it back into the soil so that they can face the sun. And for me, that translated to, Lord, if I have to, it's kind of less of me and more of God. And so if I have to let go of certain things and just release, even like even the bad things in my life, like my pride or my selfishness and all of those things, if I have to let go of those so that I can face God again, so that I can turn my head and follow and focus on Him, then I'll do it. So yeah, those are actually just the 3 ones. I'm planning to add more flowers, make the cross a little bit bigger, and then put more things as I learn new things in life. But
We're
yeah,
learning so much. We're learning so much from you. Wow.
And Janina, okay, first of all, you make my tiny cross tattoo look really, really. I have one too, but yours is so much more and I was just like, oh, mine's like a tiny cross, but whatever. Okay. More fan questions because, girl, we are learning so much from you. Janina, for those that don't know, like you said earlier, you actually do devotionals live, right? Have you been doing this every single day since the start of ECQ? When did this all start?
I do this Monday to Saturday, more or less. Sometimes I get busy and I don't get to reach 3 p.m. But yeah, Monday to Saturday at 3 p.m. we do devotions for 20 minutes, or I go overtime, so let's say 28 minutes, and just talk about random things. So I come up with series. So a few weeks ago we went through the life of Joseph the Dreamer, and then we went through the life of Moses, and then last week, what did we do last week? We went through the lives, different Bible characters who made mistakes, and we talked about and we talk about how God redeemed their stories. And so actually today, since I wasn't able to do devotionals last Friday, we're doing the series ender for that, and we're gonna be talking about David and Bathsheba. So if you guys want to join us at 3 p.m. we're gonna be going live doing that. So yeah, I actually decided to do this because so I've been making jokes that parang medyo aktivista na ako and stuff. And so there was a point where I was so angry at what was happening with the world and in our country that I was just I was ready to revolt, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, let's go. Do you hear the people sing? I was like,
okay, Les Mis.
Yeah, Les Mis, right? And so, but then I had an epiphany where I realized that if I'm gonna fight for this kind of revolution, I should also be fighting for a spiritual revolution as well. And so we've had revolutions before, and I've read about all of them, and I've learned, and I'm trying to learn from their mistakes and seeing what worked, what didn't, in their country after that. And we've had them before, but what comes after is so important. And so for me, that was what comes after. If we have the passion, we have the fire, but we need a change of heart. We need my outro, we have to be a little bit kinder in the very basic sense of it. Now, one day, I keep telling people that one day I want to wake up to a country that has a clean government. Sorry, I'm allowed to say that. That we have people who can really taste freedom, but also I want to wake up to a God-fearing nation at the same time. So I want to wake up to a free nation and a God-fearing nation, and so that's why I'm doing efforts on both sides of the spectrum, where I'm doing social political videos on my channel, but I'm also doing lives on Facebook and Instagram, because I feel like we can't have one thing and forget the other. We kind of have to work on both. And so I know that, I think it goes without saying that we want to eradicate the corruption that goes on in a government, but before we do that, we have to eradicate the corruption that goes on in our heart. So like I talked about,
Yes.
pride, that's my selfishness, and all of those things I'm continuously working on. And so I think that's the journey I wanted to start with my Vela fam, kind of eradicating the quote-unquote corruption that we all have in our heart, that sinful nature. So working on that at the same time as fighting against injustice, fighting against oppression, but fighting for righteousness, fighting for, simple as kindness, fighting for love. So doing those at the same time was very important to me.
Janina, you sharing these two sides of you, whether it's the romantic side or the visionary side, and it's cool that you're sharing that.
Visionary, that's a good way to say it. I should use that one.
And
All Out with Rico and Carla. All out music and all out fun. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. only on Manila's hottest Monster RX93.1.